Grace and Peace is a versatile artist who uses a wide range of mediums, working on everything from small canvases to large-scale wall murals. We'll talk about his style, techniques, and what keeps him motivated as a creative. Welcome to another episode of ECTV's Roundtable Discussions. I'm your host, Travis Prince, and today our guest is Grace and Peace. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you for coming to chat with me, man.
No problem.
The first thing I always do with my guests is I want you to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you went to school at, and things like that.
I'm from Queens, New York. I went to school in Queens, New York. I've never had the privilege of going to an art school. I went to a school for aviation. Yeah, that was a good experience. From there, I've always had a passion for the arts. I did take some, like 2 summer classes as a child. In fact, I remember being 10 years old, making it into the teen classes because I was a little advanced.
Yeah.
So, well, my mother kind of pushed that in, but yeah, that's pretty much the only schooling I had. I regret not, although I like not really conforming to the traditional styles of art, I do regret the many different benefits that I would have gotten had I went to art school.
Art school,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're from New York. What brought you to Pennsylvania, and how long have you been in the PA area?
Well, so from Queens, I went to Harlem. Harlem it's full of a lot of culture, a lot of art, murals. I've always been a fan of the murals, graffiti, in and out of the Bronx and everything. Being in New York for that long, I felt as if I needed something completely different, you know? So I could have just went to another city. I decided to go to the more wooded area of Pennsylvania, and because it's not too far of a move where I'm too far removed from my hometown, and I could always just, jump on the highway and go back. But while I'm here, I'm soaking up all of the woodsy, all of the nature and everything like that, and I'm just applying it to my art, applying it to just my life experiences, you know.
So that's interesting. You moved from the city just for a change of atmosphere, a change of scenery.
Oh man, I wanted it to be completely different, to shake me up a bit. I feel like it's a big world and people are so, and I have been too, just so comfortable and stuck. And you feel like home is home only because it's all you know. Mm-hmm. So I try to go out there, and I'm like, even looking forward, I'll definitely move again, and it may not be like either of these places that I've lived. It's a big world, and I'm out to see it,
So I want to stay on this topic a little bit longer. So how long have you been in Northeast Pennsylvania, and how have you liked it so far?
I've been here for 4 years. It's had its ups and downs. It took some getting used to. I think that if you try to be a New Yorker in Pennsylvania, then you're not gonna have a good time. You gotta kind of like let it be what it is and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And I've learned to do that. So lately I've been having a great time. I've been expanding my roots a little bit, getting out of my immediate community and experiencing other communities. So it's good.
That's what's up. So being from the city, I'm from a big city like you too. I'm from Philadelphia.
Right.
And some of my earliest experiences with art is the same as yours, is graffiti and wall murals and city art, kind of that rebel type art a little bit. And that definitely affected me a lot because I grew up in Philadelphia, and then I moved to South Carolina, very rural state, very small rural towns. And so seeing big city streets, big buildings, graffiti on the subway and the train cars on the sides of buildings, and then going to a rural area where this type of art isn't as prominent, it took me a minute to realize how much culture that you get just from being in the city atmosphere. So that being said, what do you think about this area and the type of street art or lack of street art?
Well, right now, like we're literally in Scranton right now, and I got to tell you, it's not Harlem, you know, it's not the Bronx, but it's way better than the area that I live in. So it's a lot more art here. I do appreciate. I appreciate the differences. You know, I would be a little disappointed if I came here or went somewhere else and seen the same art.
Same type of styles, yeah.
You understand? I feel like we have different life experiences. We have different, we just absorb different vibes from where we go, and I expect the art to represent that, to express that. So it's different. It's definitely different. Even I'll say the art that's a little bit more relatable to the city art, the New York City art, I should say, because each city has its own feel to it, but still different, and it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. So you've been an artist since childhood.
Right. Well, I've been an artist since childhood. I would draw. You know, like most people, if you can't draw, then you're not an artist, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. I tell people now all the time. I'm like, they're like, you know, I have no artist in me. I'm like, well, you know, you could try sculpturing. You can try painting, you can try this, but people normally, if I can't draw, then I can't art. Yeah. It's not true. But my drawing went as far as it can go. And I wanted to be on a certain level, but I wouldn't put in the time. And obviously I had to pay the bills and go to work and work the 9 to 5 and have a life. And I didn't really try paint, but once I did, it felt as if I had such a head start, and it came so much more naturally. And because I think my concept of making the image come to life is a lot different, the way I approach it, from drawing versus painting. So I think I'm comfortable more painting. I wasted a lot of years though, you know. I'll say all childhood, I would draw all the time. Then young adulthood, I did little to no art, you know, to up until, I would say, I didn't take it seriously until about maybe 5-6 years ago.
So what was that spark or that inspiration that got you back into your creative zone again?
I always wanted to do a mural. And I never had the chance, and I was like, yo, I would buy someone's wall, you know, just to, like, I just want to paint a mural. And when I did, and at this time I wasn't even doing canvases.
Oh,
I wasn't painting at all. I maybe painted like 3 paintings in my life. But I've always wanted to do a mural, and when I had the opportunity to do one, I didn't want to stop.
Oh, wow.
You know, and even still I didn't do canvases. I was only doing murals for the first couple years of my art career.
So you wanted the large scale.
I think I need pieces. Glasses because I think that because I hated doing canvases.
Yeah.
You know, and I still do. It's like I gotta like shake it off because large scale just seems so much easier for me. And where I met people who was like the smaller the better.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't get it. You know, and I figured.
I don't know. Yeah. I've always been intimidated by larger canvases or larger pieces of work, and it took me a long time to work up to pieces even this size. Where I had a older artist tell me one time, he saw some of my smaller paintings and he said, "It looks good, make it bigger." And then about a month later, saw the same guy again, had some different art. He's like, "It looks good, but make it bigger." And so after a while, I finally decided to do a larger piece. But in your situation, you went from drawing to having this fascination with wanting to do an entire wall.
Yeah.
Like, what was that? The trying to make that big leap, that transition so fast, where it would intimidate most artists.
So growing up, I'm gonna drop some names on you. Dragon Ball Z. Big fan of Dragon Ball Z. Big fan of Marvel. I'll say Marvel is my first love. That art style is where I see myself. And then I'm gonna keep it with those two. Mainly Dragon Ball Z. Did a lot of Dragon Ball Z. Did a lot of Marvel. And I did this one drawing on a rolled up sheet of paper. Unrolled it, and I said bad guys on the right, good guys on the left. And then I'll fill up the paper, and then I'll say I need a bigger roll. And then I'll go get another roll, and I'll get my light table, and I'll trace everything that I did, but now I'm adding on further and further and further till the roll was like 6-7 feet long.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, this will look great on the wall. And that's where it started. You know, I just realized, like, the bigger it is, I could have it more detailed. And besides, it took me a while to get the brushwork right. So the smaller it was like, I don't know, it just felt like a blur.
Yeah, working with small brushes can be difficult, but I don't know. The same goes with me. I was a major comic book fan as a child. My stuff was Image Comics.
Image.
Spawn.
Yeah.
They had another one, Wildcats.
Yeah.
Max, and a couple things like that. And people don't look at comic books as art, but it is
Right.
a great art form, and illustration in itself can be masterful pieces of artwork. And that's where one of my favorite artists come from. Norman Rockwell wasn't taken seriously at all for a long time because people considered him an illustrator, but his work was masterful in itself. And most people won't admit that they have that comic book or anime background that helped them, get up in the arts. Yeah,
I didn't care about any other, like, as a child. Like, now I appreciate all forms of art, and I try to like absorb some of that energy. But as a child, man, it was only the comic books, man. And I would look at something like SpongeBob and be like, that's not art. That's not art. And it's doing so well. But yeah, man, and starting off as a mural artist, I found it because, starting off as a painter at all, I would grab whatever paints that I would get for Christmas, right? And I would just mix them together, and it would be overwhelmingly bad because I'm trying to mix acrylics with oil, with watercolor, all at the same time, and I didn't know what was going wrong because I had no schooling. I just thought, hey, it's colors, paper, let's do it. And so once I got older and I decided to do a mural, and I Googled, I'm like, what do I need? And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna get some wall paint. I'm gonna get some, go to Home Depot, stack up on a whole bunch of different colors. I go to the, they got the swats and all of that. I just grab like 20 of them, stack. They hate me at Home Depot, because I only get like the 8-ounce sample jars. And then I lay them out and I go to work. And then transferring over to canvas, I should have transferred over back to acrylic, right? But I didn't because I used what I had, and I went out and I bought some acrylics, and I bought some airbrush paint, and I bought some oils, and I have it, but I'm just so comfortable in that zone. And I still look to expand. I still, I dab here and there. I definitely use the airbrush or spray paint for effect, mainly, but I have not done a whole painting using those mediums.
Everybody finds the medium that they're comfortable with. You get used to it and it works for you. Yeah. So, you've been back at this thing for about 5 years now, half a decade. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you inspired? What keeps you wanting to get your brushes wet?
Well, it's therapeutic. It's very therapeutic. I guess it's just really like my happy place, man. I just go. A lot of stuff is going on in the world right now that we're all experiencing, and sometimes you just need a hobby to just take a break from it all and just be where you need to be and be at peace. So it's my peace. When I'm not doing it and I'm working on something that's work, like mowing the lawn or fixing the car or something. I'm thinking about art. So I always rush back to it, and not only that, it's paying the bills. So it's paying the bills.
It's always good when the art can pay the bills.
Yes, yes.
So you brought some art with you.
Yes, I did.
A couple pieces. Let's analyze these and break some of this imagery down. So this right here, I can already see some very, very familiar characters from my childhood.
Right. This was a request. Most of my paintings are requested, so they're sold before it's even made.
You do a lot of commission work.
I do a lot of commission work. And I normally have more commissions than I can even bear to fit in a personal piece. This is a painting for someone in Long Island, I believe, and they really just asked for something very vague. They just said they wanted Bam Bam and some animals in a woodsy area. So that's what I did. I had to Google, you know, what Dino looked like. I forgot what Dino looked like. I gave him my own little spin to him. Yeah. But you know, I think about my motivation is normally what I would have had, what I would have liked to have on my wall as a child. As a child, I didn't have a mural in my room. Yeah. You know, I didn't have paintings hanging up and stuff like that. So I kind of get carried away sometimes, but I do it because I love doing it. And in this piece, I'm pretty sure she would have been completely happy with just Bam Bam, dead center, with like, I don't know, just a couple animals at his feet. But I figured that if it's gonna be out there and have my name on it, I'll do a little extra.
Yeah, this is a beautiful piece, man. It's
Thank you. I
got the large landscape in the background, and what I'm liking the most is your use of layers. I can see probably about 4 or 5 layers off the top, and maybe even more than that. But
thank you.
It's the detail is amazing, dude. Amazing, and the medium you use. What type of paint is this? You said?
This is latex paint.
Just regular, like house paint, wall paint.
Yeah, wall paint. King Primer.
And even in the flame itself, like 4 or 5 colors in there, and the layers is so lush. And I've never used latex paint like this on a canvas.
So now on the fire, I used the mixed medium. I used Sharpie. Oh. I painted first, but then for effect, to give it to make the fire seem give it a little glow.
Yeah.
I did use some Sharpie oil paints.
What about the green dinosaur up there? He's shining a whole lot. Is that it, like some glitter or something in there?
No, that's the Sharpie as well.
That's the Sharpie as well?
Yeah.
That's cool how you implement different materials like that to get the effect that you look for. That's something, once again, I say it over and over, and I want to push myself to be more experimental, that I don't try a lot of different things.
I kind of think about it like martial arts, you know, because I like to, when I first got into it, I'll say, you know, stick to one medium. You can't cheat, it's cheating. And I'm like, no, man, it's like martial arts. If you're fighting somebody who only knows karate, but you know karate, jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean, judo, and taekwondo, it's like you have the upper hand. Yeah. So I'm like, you know, bottom line is you want to give the picture a certain kind of effect. You want it to come out a certain kind of way. Do whatever, you know, do what you got to do
to make it
beautiful, to make it
to get that result. Let's check out another one of your pieces.
Okay.
So there is another interesting aspect to your art that you do, and so this is the same painting of the commission of Bam Bam and Dino. So explain to us what you did on the back here.
So most of my paintings, all of my paintings have a little simple cartoony kind of, I call it a back scratch, right? And this is just a little artwork in the back. That's a secret. It's personal between me and the buyer. And, you know, people don't get to see it, but they know it's there. And it's my own little, you know, you get what you want on the front, but this is my message to you on the back. And
I see you have it marked Quarantine 2020.
Yeah, this is I want them to know where we was at during this.
This is a pretty amazing and unique concept in itself to have a secret piece of art on the back. And like you say, well, the owner of the piece knows that it's there,
Yeah.
and they have that gratification of knowing that it's there,
Right.
and just that little secret between you guys, and whoever else sees the piece normally wouldn't even have an idea that there's another piece of artwork on the same canvas.
No, and it's a sense of like authenticity. So you know it's mine when you see it. You know.
That's amazing, dude.
Thank
That's
you, I
really
appreciate
amazing. Okay, let's look at something else. The first thing I want to ask about this piece is, does it have a title?
Yes, it's still standing.
Still Standing. What significance does the title have with this piece?
Well, this piece right here is actually very personal to me because the gentleman in this picture is actually my best friend, and he's an A&R for Palm Tree Flow Records, and he had an album come out that was Standing, entitled Standing, and so I took that and I wanted to surprise him. Now his album cover is literally just this lion full face, right? So I wanted to take this and flip it and have his face on one side and then his album cover on the other side, and it's still standing because of all of the adversity. I know, the things that he had to go through to get to where he is, the success level that he is on, and I'm very proud of him. But as you can see on this side, the lion had to come out a couple times. And through people, there's been some people and some things that, you kind of gotta get the lion out for. And that's what he did, and he came out on top.
This piece is beautiful, dude. Once again, your use of color is amazing. I really, really like your tones and how you just lay it down. It looks so nice. And I like the two different movements I can feel. Behind him, it's like a meteor shower almost. And it has this sense of urgency, a type of rush feeling to it. And then here, with the facade of the lion, you have this blood and sweat that's dripping down, giving this real slow, creeping sensation. And is this a different medium in the middle, the strip of gold?
That's spray paint.
Wow. How did you achieve that? You taped that off and then
taped
sprayed
that
it?
off, and I sprayed that on. Yeah, of course I had to cover the entire painting, but yeah, I taped that off, and I wanted it to just fade out here, and
that's where they pull together and
Yeah.
blend. It's a really good piece. And you say this was just a surprise for a good friend of yours.
yes, yeah.
That's pretty good. Art is that thing. I tell everyone, art is the best gift.
Yeah.
If you're at a wedding and a couple's getting married, and it doesn't matter how many guests are there or whatever the guests bought the newlyweds, when they open that piece of art, they're going to say, oh, that's the best gift we got. Is there a surprise back scratch on this one as well?
There is.
Still standing,
Still standing.
up against the brick wall.
Mm-hmm. Just little sketch graffiti style, drip down.
I notice this is your handle as well, right? Have a Art?
Have a Art. That's where you
Okay.
can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Have a Art.
I like that. Let's check out some more of your stuff.
Absolutely. So now this piece is actually not done. I should finish it either tomorrow or the day after. This is This is another surprise gift that was requested from the family of these two, and there's a lot going on. I don't really want to. I don't know if I should get into everything just yet, but I don't know who's watching. But same thing, same mediums. This is 100%. This is 100% paint. No mixed mediums here, I believe.
Well, I know you say you like going large and doing larger formats because it's easier for the details, but just looking at her necklace and her pendant, his mustache, the palm leaves, like your details with a small brushes.
Every brushstroke.
Yeah, it's immaculate, dude.
Every brushstroke. I wished it was bigger.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm like, this is coming out all right, but I feel like I maybe would have done it. And I know this doesn't make sense, but I think I would have done it faster if it was bigger.
Well, that is true. Once again, working with small brushes, it takes a lot longer, and the brush don't hold as much paint, so you're dipping more. And I do the same thing. When I get commissions, I have a set standard price, and if you want to go smaller than my standard canvas, I still charge you the same because it's going to be harder to get those details on a smaller image. But you do it so well, dude.
Thank you.
And this
Thank you.
And this piece isn't even finished yet.
No. People ask me, you know, oh, this is annoying. People don't know sizes. You know, if I say, what size do you want the painting? Oh, I don't know sizes. It was like, you know, what size do you think is good? I'm like, you don't want to ask me that. You know, I'm gonna take your whole wall over.
Yeah, I need a 6 foot by 6 foot.
Right.
But this piece looks really good, though. To say it's not finished, and I can imagine when
there's no back scratch on this yet.
Do you have an idea for one?
I do.
Okay.
I do, which I won't disclose right now.
Yeah, that could be another surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else you got. Wow, this is colorful.
Yeah.
I like this. And once again, just a bunch of characters from our childhood that everybody knows immediately.
Right. I just love how everything popped. This right here, I didn't have any clue what to do until I did. And once I did, it's like I seen it as if it was already done. Mm-hmm. At first, I just on paper went over a couple ideas. Didn't really work for me. And then once I thought of this, I didn't need to sketch it out. I knew what I wanted to do. And basically, this is for a newborn baby. And the way I see it is, this is what they see all the time. You know, people looking down into the crib, looking at them.
Yeah.
And so the baby was very fond of Sesame Street. So I thought that, you know, what better to do than have them keep him company. His name is Micah. Gave it a little personal touch right there. So there's a video I did of me actually doing this painting on YouTube. I don't recall what I named it, but if you was to follow me on YouTube at Have a Art, you'll see it there.
Well, I love the perspective that the foreshortening going right into the middle of the canvas, and then having them peer down right at you. It is so cool. It is really cool.
I'm thinking Sesame Street been around so long. You know, I don't know if there's a painting that I can do that doesn't already exist out there. Yeah. You know, so when I thought of this, I'm like, you know, if there's anything like this, it's not like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's not too much like this that it should be a problem.
And once again, the many layers you put on there just look so good, dude. How long would it normally take you to finish a piece this size?
No pun intended. Size doesn't matter. This is about detail. So something this size, this is cartoonish, so this is like really just, I don't have to look back. You know, once I see what the shapes are on the character, from there on, I can keep going. But as if I'm doing a portrait, it's like constant, you know, back and forth. So a portrait will take a lot longer than this, regardless of the size.
Yeah.
This right here, just put on some good music, and if I'm working, let's say 4 or 5 hours a day, it might take me around 4 or 5 days.
That's a pretty good pace to finish something like this, because this is highly detailed. Like you said, it's our favorite characters in a cartoon image, but it still is really, really detailed, and the colors just, like you said, just pop, and it's so bright and pretty.
Thank you.
I like it. Well, Grayson, I really appreciate you coming to the studio today and talking with me, man, and sharing your beautiful art with the viewers out there, and hopefully I can have you back again sometime.
Absolutely, I'd like that.
This has been another episode of ECTV's Roundtable Discussions. I'm your host, Travis Prince. Today, our guest was Grayson Peace. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Catch you guys next time. Bye.